Nicolas Dromel, an economist at the French National Centre for Scientific Research. Mr. Dromel, thank you very much indeed for speaking to us. So we had zero growth in the second quarter.
Maryam.
Good morning. We had zero growth in the second quarter. The forecasts were already pretty negative. This is worse than what we were expecting. What are the reasons behind the slowdown?
Several reasons for that. First, there is a decrease in consumption with respect to the last quarter, minus 0.7%. There's a slowdown also in firms' investment, and so this decreases domestic demand for France. And France really very much relies on domestic demand, much more than Germany. There's also a decline in the demand for exports. Inventories also didn't play the role they played for the first quarter of 2011. And also there's a lot of uncertainty, political and economic uncertainty at the moment with respect, for instance, to the sovereign debt crisis, with respect to rising energy and commodity prices, and with respect also to Arab uprisings and also with the nuclear disaster in Japan.
Yeah, so these figures clearly adding to all this uncertainty. But I guess the worrying thing is that private consumption, which, as you say, traditionally the driver of the French economy, dropped 0.7% in the second quarter in the absence of more stimulative factors, shall we say. Is the French economy ready to stand on its own 2 feet?
This is difficult to assess for now. The big question is France able to achieve the 3% of deficit target in 2013? Given that growth is so small now, there would be a need for austerity measures to achieve this 3% target. And the fact that there is an election upcoming next spring in France complicates the situation, because tax hikes are not popular. But to meet the target, there will have to be cuts in spending and increases in taxes, or at least reductions in tax breaks.
So if they're going to meet their target of 3% deficit to GDP in 2013, you're talking about further spending cuts, you're talking about more tax hikes. Is that feasible with an election coming up next year?
Well, that's in principle difficult, but Sarkozy made clear that he would do his best to meet the target, whatever the economic situation. So Sarkozy has lots to gain in respecting his commitments, so as he can ensure the people that he manages the crisis. So the French people also understand all the importance of fiscal policy soundness, of prudent fiscal policy, as they see what happens, for instance, in Greece, Portugal, Ireland, Italy at the time. So I think that the French people really understand that it's very important to keep the budget into limits, and that is the main point at the moment.
Okay, I want to ask you about French banks. They have been bearing the brunt of a sell-off in European bank shares this week, but they do also have the highest exposure to Greek debt. So I'm just wondering, when you're looking at headwinds to the economy, how dangerous are French banks potentially to the French economy?
Well, French banks are exposed to Greek debt and to other sovereign debts in the euro area. However, recent results of stress tests have shown that the French banking system is quite robust, and I mean there are no real signs of weaknesses that should trigger some worries. Of course, there is this big uncertainty about the Greek debt, but the capital level of banks has risen over the last month, so as to meet the new Basel III requirements, and it is expected that French banks are solid and robust and can perfectly go through the economic turmoil.
All right, thanks very much indeed, Nicolas Dromel from the Paris School of Economics. Thank you very much.